Good evening and welcome everybody at home. We don't get to see each other very much in the summertime, but I can think of no better reason to come together than to talk about the 24-25 Soraya season. So thanks for joining us. Look, I'm not going to be able to talk about every show in the season. There's a lot of them, but I'm going to cover some of the highlights. As I said, leave some room at the end for Q&A, and I hope that I can convince you to come to one or two things that you didn't even know you would love. But after we talk about it today, hopefully you're persuaded. So let me jump right in with opening night. You know, this year we are opening with a project that is a sort of passion project of mine. I've been thinking about it for 20 years. We actually scheduled it during the pandemic and had to cancel it in the spring of 2020, and it is Randy Newman's Faust. You know, there are few American songwriters like Randy Newman. Contemporary songwriters with decades of terrific output, but maybe not everyone knows one of those things that he created was a Broadway musical, and it's called Faust. And of course, it's based on the novel Faust. There's also, as many of you know, the opera Faust. This is Randy Newman's Faust. It's a dozen of Randy's greatest songs, many of which you've probably never heard, and a chorus, which is kind of a gospel chorus, and orchestra that we are going to put on the stage in a concert format. Randy Newman's Faust, the concert. It is our opening night. It's a big night. We've scheduled it around Randy Newman's availability so he can be with us. He's not performing, but he'll be with us at night, and we're in the middle of casting the incredible characters that you know from Faust, like Faust, Margaret, the Lord, the Devil, and all the characters that we know from the Faust story. This contemporary telling takes place in an American college town, and of course it takes place up above and down below in heaven and hell, and I'm so excited for this project. We've been talking to Randy for almost a decade now about bringing this piece back to life. It hasn't had a huge life, and we hope that by doing this concert and, you know, developing the piece a little bit further, that it becomes a part of the Randy Newman legacy, because it should. The music is terrific. So that is our opening night. I want to talk about our classical performances. You know, there is no better venue acoustically for classical music than the Soraya, and we've become known for our chamber music concerts. Those are performances that take place on the stage. The audience sits on stage with the artist. They're very intimate, but they are also some of the greatest, most expert musicians in their fields, and we've had recitals and string quartets. This year is something quite unique. We have three very different performances, and I'm going to do them in backward order. We have the classical guitarist Miloš. Miloš is probably the foremost classical guitarist in the world, and he just released a new album called Baroque. And so he's going to bring his Baroque concert on the classical guitar. That's in January. Moving backward, there is an incredible ensemble from San Francisco called the Philharmonia Baroque Orchestra. They are a Baroque orchestra, like the name implies, and so they play all Baroque music, and what they are bringing to us is something really special. They're bringing all Venetian music. This is the music of Venice in two forms, the music of Vivaldi interspersed with the music of the gondoliers. So sort of the music of the people, and then the sort of the higher form of music, Vivaldi. And they're bringing with them two artists who will front the incredible Baroque ensemble. One of them is Avi Avital, the mandolin player. We've had very little mandolin music at the Soraya over the years, and to see that very unique instrument performed by the person most known for performing on the mandolin, Avi Avital, is a very special experience. And then there's a soprano, Estela Gomez, who is part of the performance as well. So that's, if you're following me, two concerts with a heavy Baroque influence. the Baroque album by Milos, then the Baroque Orchestra, and then at the front of the season, Edgar Meyer. Edgar Meyer is an upright bass player and composer. What we know Edgar Meyer for the most is he has collaborated with every great classical musician. He is a classical musician amongst musicians. People love to have Edgar in their ensemble because he composes and performs. He's one of the most versatile musicians. He's put together a trio that is interspersing the music of Bach with contemporary compositions inspired by Bach. So those three onstage performances, and the onstage format, the classical music, are for members only. Why? Because the concerts are so popular that they've been selling out. So we're offering them to members first. Everyone at home online can get those three concerts, everyone here in the studio. Those are three exceptional chamber music performances. And when you look at them at first, you're like, well, that's not a string quartet. I understand, but believe me, you will want to be a part of those concerts and really follow the through line of the Baroque music through them. On our main stage, we have the most important debut of the year, and that is none other than Emanuel Ax. You know, we have now had Yo-Yo Ma, we've now had Itzhak Perlman. When we add Emanuel Ax to that, we have had the cello, the violin, and the pianist, the three sort of reigning, if you will, sort of godfathers of their instruments over the years at the Soraya. Emanuel Ax is a debut that I've been wanting to have for quite some time. So you'll want to come to the Soraya for the recital debut of Emanuel Ax. And then we're having two symphony orchestras. We're having the London Philharmonic Orchestra, and we're having the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. And what's really exciting about both of those is they're both bringing us Tchaikovsky. Now, you may remember from this past year, for those of you who were here, we had the Royal Philharmonic performing Tchaikovsky's Sixth, which was one of the most arresting moments of music making in the Soraya history, I must say. When that third movement was over, the audience went nuts, but it's not over. There's one more movement. You may all remember that moment of Tchaikovsky's Sixth. Well, we decided we should add Tchaikovsky's Fourth and Fifth with the London Philharmonic and the Israel Philharmonic. The Israel Philharmonic is not bringing a soloist. They never do. But Lahav Shani, the music director who was with us last time, will lead the Israel Philharmonic. The London Philharmonic is bringing Randall Gooseby, who is one of the fresh young faces, one of the really up-and-coming artists that we all want to follow, because we'll be hearing about Randall Gooseby for the rest of our lifetimes, young American violinist. So that's our classical series, the chamber music on stage, the recital of Emanuel Ax, and the two orchestras on the main stage. I want to turn to something in November that's sort of classical music adjacent. And that's an evening we're calling Rhapsody in Jazz. And you say, well, didn't you just say classical? Well, it's Rhapsody in Blue, but the original 1924 orchestration by Gershwin, which was not for an orchestra. It was for a large jazz band. Maybe not everybody knows that, and it's the 100-year anniversary of Rhapsody in Blue. Now, when we think of Rhapsody in Blue, we think about all those violins, all that sweeping sound. But what we're going to hear is a 26-piece jazz band that happens to have, French horn and 6 violins in it, because Gershwin was that kind of composer. And the great pianist Conrad Tao, we had him last year. Conrad Tao brought us his project and said, hey, it's the 100th anniversary of Rhapsody in Blue. We knew that. Other theaters are doing that. But did you know that the original wasn't actually the one that we all know? It's this jazz arrangement by Paul Whiteman. It was his band that first performed it. So the evening is going to include Conrad Tao, the Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra, the musicians from Wild Up, and Chris Roundtree conducting. It's like all of our favorite artists in one evening of all Gershwin. This is the evening that you all must run out and buy tickets for right now, because it is an extraordinary evening where classical music meets jazz, and it's all about Gershwin. I'm going to now segue to dance. We have 3 major evenings of dance this season, but I'm going to focus on 2. The first is actually in the winter, Twyla Tharp, who many might say is, on the short list of the most impactful, most prolific American dance makers. Twyla Tharp's 60th anniversary is this year, and she is bringing her company to the Soraya. This is really exciting for us to have that important milestone performance here. Many of you may not seen Twyla Tharp's choreography, but it is some of the most versatile choreography. She's done things for Broadway. She obviously does things for her dance company. And she's bringing us 2 pieces, one of her classic pieces, Diabelli, with music by Beethoven, and then a brand new piece, Twyla Tharp's 60th anniversary. And then I want to go to our favorite resident dance company, Ballet BC, Ballet British Columbia, our resident company from Vancouver, who will be back for their 4th appearance. This is a special night because we're doing 2 pieces by Mehdi Valersky. Mehdi, as many of you may know, is the artistic director of the company. He is also one of the great dancers of our generation, many years at the Paris Opera Ballet, Netherlands Dance Theatre. When he came to Vancouver to run Ballet BC, it was the first time he stepped into that leadership role. And that was the exact moment that he came to us about 5 years ago with his Romeo and Juliet. Everyone will remember Mehdi Valersky's Romeo and Juliet. Well, he's bringing us 2 pieces in that performance, and the third piece is by the choreographer Crystal Pite. Who is Crystal Pite? If you were here for the incredible piece around the large conference table a few years ago, which was filled with humor, it was quirky, but it also showed the extraordinary versatility of the Ballet BC dancers, that was Crystal Pite's piece. I loved that piece so much. You all did. Many people said, can we have that piece back? It was really, really unique. I want to see it again. We said, let's have another piece by Crystal Pite. So Ballet BC will be back with 2 pieces by Mehdi and 1 piece by Crystal Pite. I'm going to now segue, I'm in dance, but I'm moving over to the holidays now. I'm really excited about this year's Nutcracker. A lot of people ask me, when are we having the Nutcracker back? We loved having Aspen Santa Fe Ballet's Nutcracker. As you all know, unfortunately, the Aspen Santa Fe Ballet ceased producing during the pandemic. So we haven't really found a Nutcracker we wanted to replace it with. I have found that for now, this piece, very unique. It is Michelle Dorrance's Nutcracker Suite with the music by Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn, which is an adaptation of the Tchaikovsky. Now, you will say, I didn't know Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn wrote a version of the Nutcracker. You do, because it's everywhere during the holiday season. You hear it in elevators, I'm afraid to say, and grocery stores, and you hear it all the time. It's the jazzy version of the Nutcracker. That's Duke Ellington's. Well, he did the whole Nutcracker suite, and Michelle Dorrance has choreographed an entire evening of the Nutcracker tap dance to the Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn. You met Michelle Dorrance last October when she was here dancing with Tyler Peck. She was the tap dancer in that Tyler Peck show, and what an extraordinary tap dancer she is. This past December, Michelle Dorrance and Dorrance Dance, her company, brought this Duke Ellington, Billy Strayhorn, Michelle Dorrance production of the Nutcracker to the Kennedy Center. It was our nation's Nutcracker last December, and it was a big hit in DC. It made a big wave nationally, and I'm really glad that the Soraya can anchor a California tour of the Nutcracker. So for a lot of people, this will be different. It's not, it's not ballet, it's tap dance, but we think that kids, families, large groups of people will really enjoy this very upbeat version of the Nutcracker. And we're going to wrap up in just a couple minutes. We have, as always, an incredible family series, lots of matinees for the family. We're bringing back the extraordinary, energetic Stomp. So bring your kids and grandkids to Stomp. We are presenting the film Coco, which everyone knows Disney Pixar's Coco, with live orchestra, but it's not a traditional orchestra. It is an orchestra of traditional Mexican instruments, so it will complement Coco, which was the first time that Disney Pixar created a film that was dedicated to a Mexican story and Mexican characters. So that's going to be extraordinary. And many of you may know the large format puppet troupe called Mummenschanz. They will be back with us as well. So many opportunities for the family to join us. We are closing our 24-25 season, which will also, by the way, be the night that we announce our 25-26 season. We're looking ahead with none other than Stephen Schwartz. Stephen Schwartz will be with us himself on the piano. Stephen Schwartz, the composer of so many things, but the thing that most people know him for is Wicked. I knew him as a young kid from Godspell because I was in a high school production of Godspell. So it's a picture of Stephen Schwartz in my mind, some number of years ago. But Stephen Schwartz will be with us on the piano with an ensemble of instrumentalists, 4 vocalists, and they will be doing Stephen Schwartz Broadway songs all evening long. It'll be like a great big Broadway sing-along. Stephen Schwartz turned 75 in 2023, and the Metropolitan Opera, in a rare moment, the Metropolitan Opera sticks to opera mostly. The Metropolitan Opera threw a big 75th birthday party for Stephen Schwartz with the full Metropolitan Orchestra, the full Metropolitan Chorus, and about 20 superstars, both from Broadway and opera. And I had the chance to go there and witness Stephen Schwartz's 75th birthday, and I was sitting there and I was like, we can do that. So we're not doing exactly that, but we're doing something in that vein. That will be the closing night of our 24-25 24-25 season. Memberships right now are, get your membership if you don't have it yet. Everyone here, I think, does. Tell your friends to get the membership. Why? It is access to tickets earlier, it is ticket discounts, and it is events like the one we're having tonight with some folks in person, some folks at home. There are this year 5 memberships: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and jazz membership, which is a membership for our jazz lovers who really want the member benefits only for those 2 weeks in February. And right now we are in the bronze level of ticket on sale, but memberships are available throughout the entire year. By the time you get to Thanksgiving, that time of year, the value of a membership starts to diminish because so many shows will have already passed. But last year we had a record number of members. We intend to break that record this year with even more. It is such a crucial part of who we are. And, memberships have replaced subscriptions, not only here, but at theaters around the country. But we saw a really warm response to membership last year, and we hope to see even more this year. So that is our season, 24-25 season preview. Now is a great time to get tickets, because even if the fall or the winter or the spring seem a long time away, last year we sold out more performances than in any other single season. And I'll tell you, when people were like, oh, I want a ticket for Aaron Tveit and the Pacific Jazz Orchestra, gone. Every single seat in the theater. So do not wait. Also, get a membership so you can get discounts. We already have all of our member events for next year calendared. Our artist salons, our artist meet and greets, our member parties. So look at that calendar. We figure anyone who buys, definitely 5 shows or more, the math comes out way in their favor to have a membership. Even at the bronze level, you buy 3 shows, the math comes out in your favor, never mind the extraordinary benefits that we give. We start offering artist salons and meet and greets to the silver membership at $360, the gold membership at $1,000, even more benefits. And so many people tell me, I would have to spend 5-10 times more than that at any other theater to have access to an opportunity to meet an artist. Or to be at an event like the ones that you guys put on. So I hope you'll get a membership and your tickets at the same time. Call the ticket office. They will be able to help you with all these things, or go online with your account. And most importantly, they will be able to give you your membership and your tickets. They will be able to secure all of that, put it on a payment plan if you'd like. That's very useful. And then I hope you decided tonight to add another show or 2 that you hadn't thought of. I'm going to tell you which ones those are. That will be Conrad Tao, the Clayton Hamilton Jazz Orchestra, Wild Up and Chris Roundtree in Rhapsody in Jazz, our tribute to the 100th anniversary of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. Add that to your list, and add Terence Blanchard's 2 operas, Champion and Fire Shut Up in My Bones, to your list. Many more things. Maybe add Michelle Dorrance's Nutcracker. Be with us for the Jazz Festival. And if you're a member, do not miss the onstage classical chamber concerts, which come with, of course, a reception after every one of those performances with food and beverage and an opportunity to meet the artists. We are all so looking forward to the 24-25 season, but first, we're looking forward to a little summer break, and then we'll all be back together in just a couple of months.